Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another resource review. My name's Danielle, the Community Connections Coordinator at Sara Riel. And today we are joined by a very special guest. We're doing like resource review inception because we have Dave, who is a manager of mental health services at Sara Riel. Hello.
Hello, Danielle. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you.
It's fun to get to interview you about where we both work.
Yes, exactly. I will be referencing you probably in today's interview.
I'll have to pretend I have no idea who I am. All right, so let's just dive right into things here. What is Sara Riel Inc.?
Sara Riel Inc. We are a community-based mental health organization. A little bit of history, we were founded by the Grey Nuns in order to address what was called a revolving door syndrome. So what that is, it was an observation that people would go into hospital with mental health concerns, they would get treatment, they would have their mental health stabilized, but then they would be back in the community when they were out. So there was nothing that would address the day-to-day challenges that people had. So they started Sara Riel, and 43 years we've been doing this, meeting unmet needs of those individuals. They struggle with their mental health and wellness daily. We provide counseling and case management, mentorship skills and skill development, employment service and vocational development. We have peer-led respite through our Seneca Services program. And we also have a myriad of groups and workshops and psychoeducational opportunities on topics that address mental health concerns, work-life balance, grief and loss, managing your diagnosis, those kinds of things.
Amazing. So, with all of those different programs, who is Sara Riel for?
Sara Riel is for anyone who is struggling with their mental health or mental illness, and they need support for any unmet need. The only stipulation that we have at Sara Riel is that you're over 18 and living either in Winnipeg or in the surrounding area. Some of the programs that we have, there needs to be a medical confirmation of a diagnosis in order to get services, but otherwise it's really open to anyone who's maybe struggling with their mental health.
Amazing. So, then how would somebody get referred to Sara Riel?
Well, anyone can talk to, if they're working with somebody out in the community, providing other services, they can talk to them and help and have them help. But you can go online to our website and fill in an online application. You can download an application, print it out and fill it out in your own time, fax it and mail it to us. Or you can call Judy at our intake department and have her mail one out to you. Everything is easy and accessible and on our website, and that's how you would get referred to Sara Riel.
Great. So, let's say somebody is looking at Sara Riel as an option, and maybe they start engaging in programming and maybe need additional services, or they realize this was close but not quite the right one. What happens then?
Well, I guess what I'd like to say is that we may not always be the right call, but we are never the wrong call. So when you talk to someone at Sara Riel and you're maybe not the perfect fit for our services, we have a community connections coordinator whose job it is to ensure that people get in touch with the right services or individuals out in the community. We don't hand out telephone numbers, we don't hand out addresses. This is a one-on-one work that we do in order to ensure that that person's needs are met. So we don't sort of disengage from them until they're comfortable in their new setting.
Excellent. So, what is the admissions process like then?
So admissions is it starts with your application. So your application is received here at Sara Riel, and it's gone through, it's put into our database. For a lot of the programs that we have, there is the need for collateral, and right now that's a little bit slower because of COVID. But we do need to get a hold of. We ask you on the application for key service providers. That would include a medical professional, psychiatrist, doctor, a psychiatric nurse, anyone who can give us collateral of the diagnosis. And then it comes back to intake. She presents it to an admissions committee, and they pretty much decide, um, based on your needs and your wants. They'll assign you to either a wait list, and usually they're quite short wait list, or they will assign you immediately to a worker. You'll get a letter that says you've been accepted, but very often you'll be called by your worker before you even get that letter in the mail.
Amazing. That's awesome. Fantastic. Something you mentioned earlier actually was being a community-based organization. So what does that mean?
So we are located in St. Boniface and St. Vital. That's where we're physically located, but it doesn't mean that our service delivery is all here. We work out in the community. We work where people are at. We go to their homes, their neighborhoods, their communities, and we provide the services where they are.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we mentioned employment services, case management, mental health counseling, as well as something called peer-supported respite. So what is Seneca Respite? What kind of respite is being offered there?
So Seneca, it's a 24-hour respite service, and it's available to all of Sara Riel's participants. It's a 5-bedroom, 2-bath suite in St. Boniface apartment block, close to all amenities. So what we offer there is we give you accommodation for 5 nights, meals, and the compassionate support from a peer support worker who have their own lived experience with mental health or mental illness. And they've achieved a level of recovery that gives them a totally unique understanding of the people who check in. And so these 5 night stays are available. We do 5 nights because we really want to maximize. You come in sometimes at a quite an increased level of anxiety, or it's a pre-crisis situation. We can't manage significant crisis. So, but there are people who you don't relax when you're immediately in there. So we like it to be a 5-day stay, so you really maximize your ability to gain respite. And people can access up to 8 times a year.
Amazing. So really it's when you kind of can recognize those symptoms of maybe becoming unwell or you need a break, that's when you would maybe go to Seneca and you'd get a bit of that reprieve and talk with peer support.
Exactly. And the other option to that too is that, at least for during COVID, and until a very generous grant from the United Way runs out, our peer support warm line is open for 24 hours. So people can call and talk to a peer support worker. If they can't get in for respite, they at least have the opportunity to have that connection to somebody. And when it's open 24 hours, it's good. Some people can't sleep and they just want to check in. Some people, are wake up with anxious feelings, or whatever it is. The peer support workers are there to answer the telephones, and really our goal there is just, we want you to feel better than when you called us.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Something that is very evident on the website and in social media is something called the paths to potential. What does that mean? What are these paths?
So our path to full potential, we say, is made up of 4 components. So there's the path to self, the path to wellness, the path to hope, and the path to empowerment. And almost any issue that people struggle with, they can be addressed by strengthening one or more of those paths. Um, any issues of diminished self-esteem, feeling less than, stigma, those can all affect your confidence and self-worth. And that am I worth making these changes that I want to make in my life? Well, by addressing and building on the path to self, we can show you that yes, you're worth it, and yes, these changes are going to benefit you. Any issues or triggers around managing your mental health concerns, or even your physical health or spiritual health, social, vocational, they can be addressed by strengthening and understanding that path to wellness. What is it that makes me keep well and stay well? Um, and then for some people, a very small barrier or a roadblock, it would immediately halt any forward movement toward a goal, and might even make them stop that. So when we work on the path to hope, we can slowly start to view those barriers as just what they are. They're barriers, they're detours. We can get around them, and we can navigate and work toward our goals continuously. And then the last one, the path to empowerment. Often we don't have the skills to problem solve, or the feeling that we have the strength to negotiate or advocate for ourselves. And within the path to empowerment, we actually find that practicing those skills gives us competence, but also confidence in moving forward in our lives with our goals.
Awesome. Thank you so much for explaining those so well. That's great. So, where can people find more information about Sara Riel?
Well, our website, of course, is www.sararielinc.com, all one word. You can call Judy at our intake office. So you call the main number and extension 149. You can call Danielle. I don't know where she is on your screen right now, but you can call Danielle. She's at extension 8350. And then we're also posting daily on Facebook, Instagram, and we're constantly putting new information on our YouTube channel as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for all the great information. I do have one last question for you.
Okay.
It's probably my favorite question that I ask everybody. What is your favorite? I guess you're working from home today. So, what's your favorite at home office knickknack?
Okay. So I have seen Danielle do a few of these now. So I knew the secret question was coming and got it ready beside
Spoilers.
me. This is it's a willow tree sculpture, and some of you may recognize some of them. And it is called My Girls. I have two daughters, and my partner gave this to me when well, it was just a few years ago, but actually came to live with me when my girls were probably this big. So that's one of my most important pieces here at home.
That's so nice. What a
Yeah.
nice thing to have right by your desk every day. That's lovely. Well, thank you so much again, Dave. We'll make sure that we put all of the contact information and those numbers in the description below so that everyone can have an easy click access to it. And that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much and take care, everybody.
Thanks
Bye.
for making it so easy.